Guys, we're back again. It's Michael White.
And Anthea Morphetis in the house, ready to
Yeah,
discuss today's subject.
yeah. So today's a surprise topic. Regularly we talk about relationships with other people, but this one's going to be a special one because we're going to talk about a relationship with yourself. And I've always said that the best relationship you need to have is with yourself.
Hmm.
And then at the end of this podcast, we have some special announcements. So before we continue, guys, please do us a favor, like, share, subscribe our content. We put it on all platforms for you guys to share, like, and discuss. As I said, I understand you're not gonna like everything, but it helps us on the algorithm if you guys are just like, hey, I like that. That sounds pretty awesome. And then plus, we're also doing you guys a bigger favor because we're doing the Instagram clips where you guys will be able to watch it for 3 minutes, a shortened down version of it, and watch it on Instagram. So we're gonna save you guys the time, so you don't have to listen to us for an hour. So we're making sure to provide you guys the highest value in everything that we do, so you guys can engage with us, like what we're doing, and follow us. So again, is there anything you want to add, Anthea?
I was just going to say, well, if you wanted to watch us for an hour, please go ahead and watch
Yeah.
us for an hour. Some of the stuff that we do can be quite juicy. To be fair, we get into really good discussions, and me and Michael and myself don't always see eye to eye on the subjects. So that's when the juicy part comes in. So you can learn from both of us, both our experiences. Like we say, you've got the female perspective, you've got the male perspective, and you've got our life experiences in general. So
I
it's
would
always
say we
great.
agree like 90% of the time.
We do,
Like 90%.
yeah, we do agree most of the time,
Yeah.
actually.
There's that
Uh,
small like 10% when we like,
that we don't, yeah, and it is really unusual for us not to agree. To be fair, Michael, most of the time we do,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it is nice sometimes when we don't because we can give why we don't agree, and obviously from female to a male, so it's really quite cool.
Well,
So
it's
I hope you
cool
enjoy.
because then we go back to our respective corners and then we reflect to say, because sometimes what people don't understand is you might not get something in the present moment, but you might get it later.
Yes, and didn't I mean, yeah, I found out myself what self-love is all about this weekend. And anyway, when we as we discuss, I think I probably will be able to put a good little take on this.
Yeah, for
And as
sure.
Michael said, I wasn't aware of this, so I've just put out that it was something that the subject is something else to what it actually is because I didn't know. So which makes it better and juicier. So
Yeah, it's just because
yeah,
guys, like this topic comes up a lot. Because the topic that we were going to discuss for today was why relationships fail, right? But then I said, look, I want to talk about, because again, it's something that a lot of people go through and they can't tell if someone's using them or not,
yeah,
especially like with themselves, especially like dealing with like people, and they repeat the same patterns. And I've been a victim of this too, right? Because again, sometimes you do too much, sometimes you give too much, and then you're in a situation where you are doing more but receiving less.
yeah. Or you care too much and you
Yeah,
do too much.
or you care way too
Way
much.
too much, and then you do things that you wouldn't normally do, but you do because you just genuinely care so much that you
Well,
want
you
to
want
find
approval from
you want,
that individual, right?
yeah,
Like
and you're
that's
looking for
why.
approval. Yes, 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 and yeah, and I've experienced that.
Well,
So
who doesn't want approval from the person that they like? But it's also understanding that if they don't like you back, why would you want their approval? You see
exactly,
what
I
I'm
think
saying? Like
yeah,
if you like them and they're not reciprocating and they don't like you back, why would you want their approval? Why would you want to go the distance to try to do all of these extra things to get their attention? And at the end of the day, like if somebody likes you and you like them, you won't have to go super far distances to get their attention because they'll meet you in the middle. That's the difference. That's the difference between somebody that doesn't like you, that won't meet you in the middle, where you like, okay, I have to prove myself to this individual to get them to even look my way, compared to if you're dealing with somebody that likes you back and is willing to meet you in the middle. Now it's actually healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that question has to always be asked, and a conversation has to be had to understand that if it's genuine or not. Like you can't just, because you can get into your own head so easily, Michael. It's so easy to do that and make up your own assumptions, your own stories. And that's where the self-love comes in, because if you go into that mode of self-love and you can understand that, like I was listening to things over the weekend on self-love, and so it's interesting we're doing this today because I listened to a lot about it. And one of the things that I kept on getting out of it was you just you just have to stop looking at the other person for what you feel. Like, you just have to feel what you feel, and the other person shouldn't have anything to do with that, to a certain degree. Okay, if they start treating you in a really bad way and you really know that you're being treated badly, then that's different. But in general, all that, it was literally the same thing over and over again. Stop looking for approval and just go with your own, go with yourself. What do you feel? What do you think? How do you see things? And and then have come to your own conclusion within yourself. And if you love somebody, then don't look at their actions to whether you love them or not. And I know Michael and I have had this discussion about, again, to a certain degree, because if you're looking at somebody, like you're going to be, if you're in a relationship, you're going to look at somebody's actions, and you're going to use those actions and words to how you feel still. Like, even though you love them, you're still going to feel, you could feel a different way. The love doesn't go away, but you could start feeling like you're not wanted, or you're not loved, or you're not being heard, or you're not being communicated to. And if you're feeling like that, then that's where you've got to take that time for yourself to understand, well, why am I feeling like this? What is causing this? What am I looking at? And realize that you're focusing in on the wrong things as well, because I really truly believe that if your focus goes to those negative stuff and you continue to speak about it and you continue to go in that direction, then it will continue to manifest in your life. But if you can pull away from that and find the reasons why you love this person, or why you like this person, or why you want to be around this person, and go to the deep rooted reasons to what it's about, then from that point, you can then start writing down or noting in your mind's eye, or whatever however you choose to do it, the things that you appreciate and the things that you love and respect about that person. And if that's what your focus is going to, what your focus goes, energy flows and grows. So again, you're going to experience and manifest the other side of it. And I really have understood this at a different level, and watched that experience in my life. So I'm only saying it from personal side of things. And I realized that the more I focus on the things that I don't like, I get the things I don't like. The more I focus on the things I do like, I get the things I do like. And I think sometimes it can just be as straightforward as that, Michael. Like, I don't know
I
what.
would agree with you, but I don't think there's nothing wrong with visiting that place. And I wouldn't even call it negative, because if you feel that you're doing too much and it's not being reciprocated, talk about it.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
talk to the other person about it. Like, that's
Yeah.
why I believe in the whole monthly checkup thing.
Mm,
Because in
me
that way,
too.
in the monthly checkup thing, you're like, okay, like, is there anything you feel that we could work on in the relationship? Because that's the problem, right? Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, you're gonna feel different feelings, but you have to be able to address them. That's
Yeah.
the problem. You have to be able to address them, especially when you're dealing with people. With that being said, guys, we're actually going to um, get ready to share this video. And I'm sure Anthea's heard of this individual. And that's why I actually really wanted to share this video
Come to bring
particularly.
to your life.
I
So
have.
yes, so what happens is we will get ready to talk about this, and we'll let the video play. It's a short one, so you guys can literally just listen, tune in, And we will speak to you guys once the video's done.
They come to take from you. Some people don't come in your life to love you. They come into your life to use you. They don't come to bring to your life. They come to take from it. They don't see you as a person. They see you as an opportunity. Trust me, I've been there. These are the type of people that don't love you for you. They love you for what they can take from you. They're not loyal to you. They're loyal to the benefits that come with you. That's why they never show up, no matter how many times you showed up for them. That's why they never offer help, no matter how many times you've helped them. Like, for real, stop breaking your back for people who clearly don't got yours. Like, I live by this, you don't have to live by it. But if it's not reciprocated, then that relationship has to be annihilated. I refuse to be used. So stop taking punches.
So he said a lot within that like 2 minutes.
Or less than. 44 seconds. He said a lot, didn't he?
Some people don't like you. Well, no, some people like you, but they only like you because of what they can get from you. So it's not even about you. It's about the resources and things that you have that they're more interested in. They're more interested in the opportunity than you. And you see, one of the biggest things that he said, and I preach this on the podcast all the damn time, is reciprocation. If it's not reciprocated, it needs to be annihilated.
And you know what? I just want to add to this. I'm going to tell you quickly. I remember when I actually said this to somebody, and I said it as clearly as he just said it. And I said, it's not me that you want to be with. It's what I provide for you that you like. It's not me. I knew it wasn't me personally because it wasn't being reciprocated. And what I was watching was just take. And I knew I was being used. And I said it clearly to the person's face, you do not like me. You like what I provide. And they shut down on me. And that's how I knew. Like, I called them out on it. Like, because you have to call it out, because otherwise you are going to continue in a relationship that's not being reciprocated and you're just going to go downhill. Now, even in a situation like, if there's a situation like that, I just want to say quickly, if you're trying to find the positive aspects or trying to find what you like about them, if that person is doing what they're doing what they're doing. It's like, you know, it can only get better for you. And all that will happen in that state is if you are finding things that you love and respect, that person will disappear and someone else will replace, who will then reflect where your focus has been, if that makes sense.
I agree with you. And that's why I want to thank Trent Sheldon for providing these videos. Big up to him. His stuff is fantastic.
It is.
Because he puts this stuff out there, it allows us to share it and actually talk about it. So we will continue the video.
For people who wouldn't take a punch for you. Stop keeping people in your boat that ain't rolling with you. Stop being there for people that always disappear on you. I hate to say this, but it's facts. If they're not supporting, then they shouldn't be important straight up. Just because someone is in your life doesn't mean they want the best for your life. So let me...
See,
just because someone's in your life, it doesn't mean they want the best for your life. That is so powerful.
He said something that was very powerful. If they're not supportive, they shouldn't be important.
Yes.
And I just wanted to call that out, that, you know what I mean? That is a good point.
Very good point.
Let me ask you this question. If your talent wasn't there, would they still be there? Exactly. If you were to get down in life, would they still stay down for you? If all you had to offer was friendship, would they still be around? I know you want their support, I get it, but understand you don't need their support. I know it sucks when you find out the ones you love the most will sometimes support you the least. I know it sucks to find out the ones you did the most for won't even do the least for you. But don't let their lack of support create a lack of belief. Get around people who appreciate your talent, not just want to use you for it. Get around people who pour into your cup, not just want to drink from it. Get around people who want to help you elevate your life, not just use you to elevate theirs. Stop keeping these leeches, leeches, in your life that expect everything from you, but give absolutely nothing to you. And I get it. You might say, well, who's there to support me? There's a world full of people that support you. So don't let those that don't support you keep you from seeing that. And I want to be clear, when you remove these people from your life, because you will, they're going to try to paint a picture to the world that you're wrong when they did you wrong. But I want you to understand this, Annie.
Wow. I got goosebumps, literally.
So, you see, he said some interesting things. Like, some people want everything from you, but will give very little to you in return. Let me say that again. They want everything for you. They want the loyalty, they want the friendship, they want the commitment, they want the wisdom, the knowledge. They want all your resources from you. But they want to give as little as possible and still expect you to show up as fullness.
And that's a lot. And I have experienced that. And do you know what? What's so powerful about this? The passion that he's expressing it to her as well. Really quite powerful, and because it's so true. It's so true. And that once they go, you are allowing the good to come in, but the why you hold yourself in that space and allow that to happen to you because of lack of self-love. Because, like he said, you end up very easily going into that lack of self-belief, that's that lack of self-love, and then that's where you feel like you're stuck and you can't get anywhere. But actually it all refers back to loving on yourself and actually recognizing what's happening and what's going on. And if you can communicate that and and nothing changes and it stays the same, then that's when it's time to just move on. Because some people are just there just to teach us, they're just there to teach us a lesson. I don't know if you've heard the saying, I don't know if I'm going to say it right, but people are there for a reason, for a season. Can't remember the rest of them, but there's reasons for people being around, and people will stick around if they're supposed to stick around. But if they're people going to be doing things like that to you, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it, because you end up in your own state. But back to self-love, bring that self-love back to yourself and understand your worth and who you are in this world and your place in this world and how important you are to this world. And nobody's there. No one has the right to treat you in any way other than with love and respect. And I think if we always remember that, and we always know that when people are treating us badly, communicate it, they don't change, then that's the time to walk. But if you see the change, then obviously you work with it, right?
I agree with that. I agree with that. And that's the thing, right? As he said, some people want to drink from your cup effortlessly, but when it comes time for you to drink from theirs, they're nowhere to be found. They've closed the lid on you. No, I can't. I don't want to help you. Think about it like this. Let's say you're always there for someone, and I've been there. You take every phone call, you take every text message, you show up, you do all the work, right? But when you need them, oh, I'm busy. Oh, I'm this. I got this going on. And they're only looking at it from their perspective. They're not looking at, you're busy, you have things going on, but you always make the time. That's what he's pretty much saying, is if you're always willing to make the time for somebody, because we're busy. It's not like you're sitting there like a bump on the log doing nothing. But that's the thing. They'll tell you they're busy, but it's like, yes, I get it. You're busy, but you see, like, I can always make time for you no matter what I have going on. And he's saying if they can't do the same, then you're not a priority to them. You're a priority to them when they feel like it. So when they're done being busy, then they'll talk to you. So I did want to incorporate that, but we'll finish up the video because it's almost done.
Never forget it. Never feel guilty for cutting someone off when they handed you the scissors. But like I always tell you, it all starts with you. It's rehab time. Let's get it.
Wow.
So we're pretty much done, and now we can talk about the stream. But you see, he said it the best. They handed you the scissors to end that relationship. So you don't need to feel bad about it. They did that, not you.
Absolutely. 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 And I think it's so important to recognize these things, isn't it? If somebody's not showing up, then, you know, you've got to recognize what's happening so that you're not going into that and wasting your time. Because our time is precious. We do only have one life here. It's not like we get multiple chances through life and we get to relive yesterday or relive the day before, whatever we've lived, we can never have it back. So that is precious. That's a really precious thing. And if somebody can't see the value in you, then what are you wasting your time for? And there is no reason to be guilty. But so many people do feel guilty, don't they? They feel bad. They feel like, you know, I've heard people say, oh, I can't leave him because what's he going to do? Like, I don't know what he's going to do without me. What do you mean? He was born alone. He's been lived life. He will carry on life like anyone will. He might go through a little bit of a down point, but so have you. So at the end of the day, why should you keep taking and as in taking the, like it's abuse in a sense, isn't it? It's like
It's emotional abuse, and
yeah.
you see, guys, that's why we're gonna conclude our series at the end of the month, called "Why Men and Women Can't Be Friends." Now, there's exceptions to the rule, but we're gonna cover it, and it ties into this a little bit because you see, there's nothing wrong if you're a man or a woman, but it's very rare that a man wants to put a woman in the friend zone. It's very rare, especially a woman he's attracted to. So this is for the females. When you put a man in the friend zone, that is your choice. We're not telling you that we're taking your choice away. You totally have that right to do that. But that man also has the right to walk away and say, I don't want what you want.
Yes.
I'm out. And you see, it's so funny because, and again, this is not an attack on women. We'll talk about it on Friday. Women are not shamed for their preferences, but men are, because I've experienced it. When I said, hey, I don't want to be your friend, you have limited thinking, you have a small mindset, you're limiting your opportunities, all of it, just because I told you no.
And
Because
that's
I
not
told you
right.
that I don't want what you want. Because for me, a friendship, and like, I'm not saying like a friendship with a female for me is a waste of time when I
Yes.
want something else because I want a relationship. So, and this what ties into the topic. If I say, "Hey, I will be your friend," who benefits from that? You do, not
Mm-hmm.
me, because I want a
Mm-hmm.
relationship. I'm giving you
Mm-hmm.
what you want, but I'm not getting what I want. So
And that's the
that's why
same
I'm
for us
saying
too.
that it's to me it's like it's pointless. The only way it can work is if there's no attraction. But we need to stop being so foolish about it because 9 times out of 10 someone's attracted to somebody, but we like to be so naive to say, well, they don't like me like that, and then when they spring it on you, you're like, oh, I never knew. You knew.
You knew.
You knew.
I'm sorry. As a woman, I'm telling you, you knew. That's you know.
Yeah,
Like,
you knew.
come on,
Don't
you know.
don't be like deer in the headlights. You knew.
Yeah, and I've had it. Like I've experienced it many times, and I think we've spoken about it
Yeah, yeah.
once before. And at the end of the day, when I've had guys who want to be with me and I don't want to be with them, I didn't know not to be around them like that. But at the same time, I knew in my heart of heart that it's not right. But I didn't know what I know today through having these
Can I
conversations.
tell you? Can I tell you why? I'll touch on it a little bit. Can I tell you why you kept those guys around?
Um, Well, can I tell you what I felt first? What I
Go, go,
think
go, go. Yeah, yeah.
the reason I thought I kept them around is because we got on really well and we had great conversations. So when they wanted to come and see me, it was like, oh yeah, cool, come over. But then there was always a move trying to be made, and I was like, whoa, I've said I'm not interested in like that way, until I realized this isn't healthy. It's not fair on him, and it's not fair on me, because I'm now stopping him from having a relationship, and I'm actually in a sense stopping myself, because if I meet somebody and then I get into like a relationship, then what do I say to that guy? Oh, sorry, mate, see you later.
I'm
That's really
saving I'm
unfair.
saving that response for Friday, because like what you said was fantastic. Saturday's bonus episode, because what you said is fantastic. But I'm gonna tell you why you kept those guys around, because they provided a level of masculine energy.
Okay.
That's what it.
See, I
Think
never
about it.
knew that.
Think about it. Problem solving. Because I'm not saying men are better
Yes,
at problem solving, but I meant like we're built that way to like solve stuff very quickly.
yes,
You got a form of masculinity without you having to commit to him.
yes, yeah. And that was subconsciously, I
That's what
suppose,
it was.
because
Because think
yeah,
about
you
it.
don't know.
Women crave the masculine energy. They crave that attention, that validation, the wisdom, the knowledge. So what happens is you crave the masculine energy, but you knew you didn't have to commit because you didn't like him like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you could still get the masculine energy from him by him
Yeah,
showing up, doing all those things.
because masculine energy, sorry, but is the
Yeah.
best.
And that, but you see exactly. But how many
Okay.
women will you actually say that will actually admit that? Because the thing is, men do not, and I'm gonna say this flat out, I don't care who likes it, men do not deprive the same level of happiness as you guys do. We as men, we love female energy, but we don't need it as much as you guys need masculine energy,
It's
because
so true.
we derive our happiness and joy from building things. And I
Yeah.
meant like going out in the world and like making our mark, making our name known. That's where we deprive our joy. We still need the feminine, but not as much as you guys need the masculine. And we'll talk about that on Friday 100%. And that's why I always like, as I said, like for me, it's a very, I don't want to say sensitive topic, but it's a big topic, because I've always accepted being in the friend zone, but it's like now I don't, and now I see the shaming sides of things.
Yeah,
Because
that's not
I'll say
right.
I don't want to be your friend. Oh, you're small minded, whatever. But why am I gonna want to waste my resources when I can pour that into a woman that actually chooses me?
And this is what it comes down to, isn't it? It's being with someone who chooses you. It's not like if somebody doesn't choose you, why you like, you might have chosen them, but at the end of the day, if they don't choose you back, it's a dead end thing. You're just putting yourself through something you don't need to put yourself through. And that's why a conversation has to be had, and
It has to be
communication,
had,
it
and
has
that's why
to
we're
be
gonna
had.
save it for Saturday. That's why we're gonna
Yes.
give it to you guys on Saturday. But
Yay.
coming back to what he's saying is, you need to understand 100% when I say this is some people will use you, and it's not intentional. They just like what they can get from you.
Mm,
It's not even about you as a
no,
person.
no.
It's more of, ooh, like I like what they, but it's like, imagine, as he said, imagine if you couldn't give those things and
They'd be
all you
gone.
had to offer was just like a baseline of
They'd
you
be gone.
caring about them as a human being. Would they still stick around? Probably
No,
not.
no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't.
Probably not. They would probably be like, no, they're I'm out. So that's why it's so important. And this is why we talk about self-awareness on this podcast, to be self-aware with the people you deal with, how you deal with them, and then how you execute if they need to go.
How you recognize it, I suppose. Like what you said, it's like if you're showing up all the time, you're responding to every message, you answer every call, and then they don't do the same, and there's always an excuse and a reason,
Yeah.
then it's you can I still ask the question at the end of the day. I think it's very healthy to ask the question like, are you interested? Do whatever it is you want to put to that person, but at
Well,
the
even
same
as a friend, leave them alone. That's what I say. If you keep hearing, "Oh, I'm busy" or this and that, and you've provided massive amounts of value to them, and you've always fit them into your schedule, when they tell you, "Hey, I'm busy, I got this, whatever, whatever," I always say they're giving you the ammo to the gun for you to leave.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
Because when you walk away, they can't be like, well, why aren't you taking my calls no more? Why aren't you texting no more? You've given me all the, why would I want to show up for you?
Absolutely.
Anytime, I would say this, anytime I've reached out to you, not you, but I'm saying anytime I've reached out to you, call, text, whatever, you don't reply.
Yeah.
You don't make effort. So you cannot reward somebody's lack of effort with effort.
Absolutely. That's just so spot on. And again, that comes down to knowing your self-worth, having that self-love, because I suppose when you're in that place, you don't tolerate it.
You
You
don't.
you,
You
you don't.
don't.
No, you just don't. You might tolerate it for maybe a week, 2 weeks, but then you, like, I don't know, like everyone has a limit, right? Some people can go through these things and it can go for years because they're not in that place of they're having that self-love, they're not having that self-belief, they're not having that self-worth. But once you're in that place of self-love, self-belief, self-worth, I'm going to use them three things because I think they're the most important. But it will only go for maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then you're ready to say something because you're just like, no, I'm not doing
You
this.
shouldn't. You shouldn't even let it go on that long. You
Yeah,
should
but it
say,
could, I think, it could even be if you're in a pure place of like self-love,
yeah.
maybe it'll just be, but I suppose those, how can I say, Michael, it'll be like,
I
you'd
would
have
say
to,
right on the spot. If you feel and right on the spot.
yeah, but you've had to have experienced it for a
Oh
number of
yeah. But
days
I
or,
meant like
or weeks to be
it should
able to
never
recognize
drag
it.
out that far. Like when you feel it, you need to right on the spot.
Yeah.
Like it should never drag out. Like if you feel like you're being used, you shouldn't wait a week so the person could use you more.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't let them use you even more because what you're saying is, I'm not going against it. I'm just adding to it. Is you're saying you're waiting for more evidence to pile up before you say something, and it's like, no, you have the evidence.
Yeah.
Now you need to say something.
Yeah, but it could be something where what I'm trying to say also, I think, is that it could have been, maybe it's happened once in 1 week, twice in another week, and then by the third week,
Mm.
it's happened one more time, and then that's when
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Do you see what I
But I'm
mean?
saying, what if it happens in that first week? You nip it in the butt so it never happens in the weeks after.
Right, I get
That's
you.
what I'm saying.
I
You
hear
nip
you.
it in the butt right then and there so it does not happen again.
I
Because
hear
if
you.
it happens again, you're only going to get madder.
Absolutely.
So, like, let's say you tell the person, let's say you caught them in a lie, hypothetically, right? You catch them in a lie, and you say, "You're lying to me hurts me." Like, let's say you don't say anything, right? You don't say nothing. You let them lie again. Because you also need to understand that if you don't correct it, they're going to think that behavior is okay. And then you hit week 3 and then now you've snapped. Oh, I've caught you in this lie. You lied to me in week 1, you lied to me in week 2, and now it's week 3 and I can't take it no more.
Hmm.
The person's going to be like, well, why didn't you just say something at week 1?
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. So it never, because the reason why I'm saying it's so important is because you're enforcing your boundary.
Hmm.
At week 1, you're like, no, like it's not tolerable. Like if you catch them in a lie, you don't come at them all hot, but you let them know, yo, you lied to me. I caught you in this lie. Don't do it again. So there's no waiting. There's no like, let me, they messed up. We're only human. Yes, we are only human. Yes, we make mistakes, but certain things are choices like lying and other things like that. So it needs to be addressed right then and there.
Absolutely. And what was coming to my mind was that self-confidence to be able to
To say it.
put yourself, to be able to say these things in the first place. And, I know many people do struggle with that. And I know I'm being one of them where, you could fear saying something, but I think I'm learning more and more to just say what I need to say rather than hold back, because like Michael was just saying, you're only going to destroy yourself and you're only going to
Yeah.
put yourself through hurt and pain. And why do you need to do that? There's no reason for us to do that to ourselves. We really don't need to do that when we can just nip it in the bud and the end of the day
move on,
move
get back
on,
to a place
move
of
on.
peace.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then you move on with peace inside your heart, peace inside your mind, and you can just go. Yes, you might have that little kind of thing of, oh, you know, if this or that, but actually, it's not even worth going there either. You just get on with it, and you had a life before you met them, and you can have a life after you meet them too. I think this is what we forget. Like, we had a whole life going on before somebody came along, so like there's no reason why you can't continue your life as you did, and actually with more wisdom this time, more knowledge, more understanding. So the next person you meet, you know that you have not stood for that kind of behavior. Therefore, you won't get that type of person. I think this is where we break the cycle,
You won't
right?
deal with that type of behavior.
No,
That's the
no, you
thing. No.
won't, because you've literally stood up for yourself and in a sense of saying, like, I'm not being treated like this. So and I really believe that that's how we break the cycle, just by having this conversation. It's coming to me like, well, that is how you break a cycle. And then the next person that comes along, you're not going to experience that with them, because you've
You'll
got this.
nip it in the butt like right then and there.
Yes, 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 yes.
But anyways, guys, look, we're gonna see you guys on Wednesday. We have a special guest on Wednesday. I'll be posting the poster after this live stream, so you guys will be able to see it. We'll be talking about what masculinity is and what masculinity isn't. This person's a professional in their field. They work with athletes and all those type of different things. So it's going to be very interesting to talk about that subject, which is on Wednesday. And then on Friday, we're going to talk about not shaming people for their preferences when it comes to dating. Because again, there's a lot of that going on, and that's a very passionate topic to me. That needs to be nipped in the butt. And then Friday, we're going to do Saturday, we're going to do a bonus episode for you guys. And concluding one of our most popular series, because on YouTube, when I look at it, that's probably one of our most watched videos. Actually, can men and women be friends? So we're going to cover that. So with that being said, guys, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
It's always appreciated, and we will see you guys Wednesday morning.
Take care with our special guest.
Yeah.